I was gobsmacked. It was $112 in my account. I can't remember the change amount, but I remember it was $112. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, I didn't even touch this page since I built it. I just went about my life, went to work, went to eat, went to sleep, and there's money. I'd say about 3 online adventures that have had both really good success and some pretty epic failure from a scale from 1 to 10, especially the last one I'm going to share. I will say this, that I do see that there is opportunity online. It's not magic. It's not woo. It's real. And there is opportunity out there for those who are willing to learn and be consistent in their learning. And consider it a process instead of something that they have to get to quickly. But first, before I get into my story time, I'd like to welcome you. If this is your first time here, my name is Jerusha, and on my channel, I talk about things that are related to health and wealth and practical magic, which I'm going to put together a video about what that means, but today I'll just stick to the story time. I know that many of you go to YouTube or any particular online platform just to share things with your friends or have a platform where you can share your ideas, but there's many more of you who also have the hope of gaining some kind of income that's not tied to a particular location. I know for a fact that's why I initially began to learn things about how to make money online and how to have a what do you call passive income. Many people think that making online is a scam or it's just not possible. I'm here to tell you that it's real and it works. You don't have to take my word for it. But I would say that there is a certain mindset that you would have to go in to learn about it first. And that I would say just be open to being curious and take small steps and learn. That's the biggest thing I can say before any of it. I've had 3 online ventures that I say balanced out in both really good success and really epic failure, depending on the amount of education and knowledge that I had. So I'll start with the first one. The very first venture that I tried online happened back in 2011 or 2012. So yeah, I'm dating myself. I've been in it for a minute, and I had just seen these things on YouTube of all places. And it was this guy who, he was standing in front of the flashy car and he was, yelling at the screen, "Oh, you make money online. I live on the beach and I make money from my laptop and blah, blah, blah," And of course I was just transfixed. I was like, "Oh, wow, this looks amazing. How does he do it?" So I had bought his course, or what I thought was his course, at the time for $350. And that first purchase was an absolute scam. I was pretty glad that I was working at the time, and I wasn't making buku cash, but I wanted to try. It just seemed intriguing to me, and I just wanted to find out what it was about. Within his course, he had missing links. He hadn't finished the thing. It wasn't completely built out, and I said, I want my money back. He didn't even give me all of my money back. And I returned it within the time, where I wrote him and returned it within the time that he said that, you get 30 days before, I'll give you your money back. But he didn't even do that. But if I had taken that first failure as this is what it is, it's all a scam, and not tried to say, well, maybe he was just a scam, then I would not have learned that it is absolutely possible. And my expectations of what this new world that I was exploring, at least it was tempered with, okay, there's just like in the real world, the physical world, you're gonna have people that are out to get you, who don't care, whatever, but then you also have people who are ethical and they want to give you good product or good software or a good course. So I, put that away, and I, once again, watching on YouTube, and there was another guy who was talking about keywords. And at that time, I didn't know anything about SEO, and he was mentioning how search engines had low competition keywords, and how those words, if they were a lot of people searching and a lot of content out there was not helping the people who were searching for it, then that was your opportunity. And he had a piece of software, I can't even remember the name of it, but it had red, yellow, and green words for how good the competition would be for you. So anything that was like, I'd search for a term, and if it came up as green, then that means, okay, well, let's go ahead and make a page dedicated to that keyword that people were searching for. And it took me forever to find a word, and it happened to be for back in the day. If you ever remember seeing Katy Perry's California Girl video, yes, I know I'm dating myself. Anyway, but people were trying, like, it was really a cute video with like candy theme, and like there was this little dot dress, like the candy dots. And I was like, oh, well, you can make a dress out of that by putting gluing some eggs on a white dress, and then you would be like the candy dot. And so I'd already been into crafting and fashion and DIY, and so I put a page together saying how you could make this candy dress, and I put all the supplies that would be needed, and it was called this thing called Hub Pages. So at the time, it was a free place you could put your information, your affiliate pages. And at the time, I didn't even know what an affiliate was. So this was me building everything from scratch from the first time. And it was a headache. I remember I was up very late trying to figure out just even signing up for an affiliate account, building the page, getting all my links together. Like, I didn't even know what these terms were called. And I finally finished the page, and I put it away. And I think I was an affiliate for a Halloween costume thing. And I put some of that on there. It's like, in case you didn't want to make the dress, then here's something similar and some fun stuff you can get. So what happened, like I put the page away. It was like at the end of, it was the beginning of September back in 2012 or 2011. And I left it there. And when I came, I went to work, I was still working full time. So when I went to work and just forgot about it, like I was just going about my business, and I didn't even think about it for a little while because I was just busy. I was gobsmacked. It was $112 in my account. I can't remember the change amount, but I remember it was $112. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, I didn't even touch this page since I built it. I just went about my life, went to work, went to eat, went to sleep, and there's money. And I was just amazed and proud, and it was just amazing. It was amazing to me. So I was like, oh yeah, I want this. It was very hard finding keywords for me through that little piece of software. And I just caught up with life. I didn't keep doing it. I let it go. And that was it. So I had both success, but that was the first initial success that let me know that this was possible. The second story that came from me doing any online income, that was when I had a little bit more money saved up, and I bought this course that had to do with buying internet real estate. So you would go to a site. The site that I went to at the time was called Flippa, and they had websites for sale. People either built websites fresh, or they had a website that they owned that they wanted to sell to someone else that was already making money. And so the course had taught me, you do the ratio of, you want to be able to make your money back within 9 months' time. And if you don't make it back, or you can't do the calculations where the money that they're claiming that they're making from AdSense or from drop shipping or whatever is, if it's not coming in, then don't buy it. So they gave us these metrics to look for within the website. And so I took a chance, and I did the math on this, went to the website, and I said, okay, I'm only going to spend this much. And I did have money saved up. It was a big risk for me to purchase a website, but I paid $3,500 for that website. And it was a big risk because I was buying from someone in Indonesia, sight unseen. We met on Zoom once to confirm each other, but the money was held in escrow until I could check out the site and be satisfied that I was getting what I was paying for, and then the money would be exchanged. So it was held in trust with escrow until I thought it was, making a pretty good bet of getting my money back within 9 months. No, let me tell you how. This little baby, this little website, it brought in $800 passively without me touching the thing. Every month I made my money back all in 6 months, and it just kept bringing in profit. And so it was a godsend to me, because during the times when I was working full time, because I was working in retail, sometimes they say, well, we overbook people, we don't need people, it's not a really busy day right now, so can somebody volunteer to go home? And no one wanted to volunteer to go home because people need their money, they need their income, they need to pay bills. But I could always happily volunteer to go home, one, because I was like, well, I kind of want to go home anyway and do some other things, run some errands, cook some dinner, whatever. But I had something to back it up so that I had some space to play with. And I could be like, okay, I can volunteer this time to go home. And I still had money that was coming in whether I was working or not. And that was just amazing to me. That particular website, I think, it was definitely a success. Definitely, by far, great success. But what happened was I didn't know how to maintain it. The guys who had taught the course, they were both web developers. So they were already familiar with backlinks and Google AdSense and how that worked, and maintaining social proof and all those things. And I didn't know any of that. I didn't know how to do it. So I liked the website. It was a subject that I liked. It was a little blog, but I didn't know how to keep the results high in Google so that more traffic would come in. I didn't know how to bring traffic to the site. So that was my thing that I learned, is just that if you're going to do that kind of thing, it's not that it doesn't work, because it most certainly does, but I need to learn how to. It would have been better if I was already a developer or knew how to build a website and knew how to maintain it. Just like with regular real estate, you buy a piece of property and you don't maintain it, it's gonna go downhill. And that's the same thing with the website. But you do have to maintain it in a way so that you keep your property fresh. Yeah, it was great though. My third and final venture, I will say, is probably the most risky. And, I will say Grace has covered me in many of my ventures, but it's not that it doesn't work. So my third one was cryptocurrency. And at the time I was hearing about it, but I didn't know what to do with it. Once again, I don't come directly from the technology world, but I'm always fascinated and want to learn about technology. So this was back in 2014, maybe 2013, 2014. I had heard about Bitcoin, or maybe a coworker had mentioned to me before, but I was like, what is this? Magic internet money? I think I told him. And he was like, no, it's really cool. And so I was like, oh yeah, but didn't look into it. Then later I did. I think around that time, it was like $435 for one coin. I set up an account, but I didn't do anything with it because I didn't know once again, magic internet money, I don't understand. So I let it go. And then maybe 2 more years later after that, it was around $600. And I was like, it's real, as in it's moving. It seems to be going up. And, once again, just let it go, played around with some stock trading, lost all my money, blew up my account. And I was just trying to find out, like, let me look at this internet thing again. Let me look at Bitcoin again. Let me just see what it's about. Oh, in 2017, I bought a little bit. And it was way lower than it is now. But it was just, I bought a little bit, and it was that year, I think 2017, it was going on a run up. And I didn't know it would do that. But when it was running up, and a lot of my coworkers at the time were into crypto, and we would talk about it and would ask about it. I would go to meetings to find out more about it. So I was in a room with a bunch of super smart people who already were either developers or in internet security, and they were either mining coins or a front-facing account or apps doing with crypto or ATMs for crypto or whatever. So it was a great space to be surrounded by people who knew things, and I could ask questions. But when it did that first run up, it was crazy. It was like every day there was money in my account, and I was like, this is bonkers. This is crazy. Wow. At the end of the year in December 2017, it got up to close to around 20,000, I think. It might have hit 20,000. And then it started going down and dropping. And I was just holding on thinking, this is going to work. What happened? It's like, and it kept dropping. And I hadn't sold anything. I just let it drop. When it was at its lowest, I think maybe around $3,000, I didn't let it go. I just said, well, this was a good run. It was still more than what I had paid for it, so I just held it. And then 2019 happened, 2020 happened, and that was the next run up. It was the next halving that year, and I didn't know what was going to happen because this was my first round of doing any crypto. So in 2020, everybody knows what happened. Things got shut down, and I had lost a lot of my hours that I used to work. I was low on money. I had savings, but I wasn't going to be able to work because I worked in conjunction with children and the educational aspect. So I was at home, and I was like, what am I going to do? Nobody knew when things were going to be done. So when crypto started going up again at the end of 2020, I was so happy, and I sold it. And that money kept me afloat, like, honestly. So when people say, is this a scam? No, it is not. I still believe that crypto has a long way to go. The landscape is very different than it was in 2017 because there's a lot more institutional involvement, and that has changed the way it operates in my view. But it most certainly did help me when I needed it most. That was my success. My failure was when I started messing around and got greedy and played around with meme coins and other scams. So I'll just say it straight up. There's so many scams in the space. Messed around with that and got all my money taken away. I would see the money go up, and then it would get crashed, or somebody's wallet would get stolen, or just pick it. So there's a lot of scams in the space. I don't necessarily recommend going into that space without full knowledge that you could get got. So if you're going to put money into it, just put the very least. Just treat it like a casino. It's fun for gambling. Don't mess with it unless you're willing to be patient and not risk things that you are going to live on. Like, let's not put a mortgage on it, which I have seen some people too. Don't do it. That's not, they're betting the house, like their place where they're living. Don't do that. But it is viable. It does work. So those were my 3 internet ventures, 3 attempts at making money online that had both success and failure. So there was the affiliate marketing, there was the website real estate, and the cryptocurrency, all of which I will consider using in the future. But I would say that right now, what I'm trying to rebuild, because I still believe in having a location-free income source, is I'm going to be building an affiliate personal brand online through YouTube. So this is my venture into that. And at least this time I'm going to know, first of all, how to make it, because I'm going through the journey of making it myself, which is what I was lacking in the website. I'm going to do affiliate marketing, which I already had experience with the Katy Perry type dress that I made with the links. So I'm like, okay, I understand it and I know it works and it's ethical. And then also, I'm not going to add the crypto in, not necessarily, but I may go back into website real estate further down the road. I might want to be on the builder side, as in not building a website, but maybe building digital products. So I'll look into that first and maybe put a website together around that. I'm not sure, but at least this time right now I'm focusing on affiliate marketing because I really just enjoyed it. It was after that first initial getting over the hump of learning, I liked it. That first few dollars, there's nothing like it. But thank you so much for listening to my story time. And if you have made it this far, or if you have your own internet story to share or tell, please put it in the comments below. Give out your success or your failure. Look out for the scams, because I'm not at a point where we have little weird WhatsApp numbers coming in my comment section right now. But so take advantage of that because I'm not well known. But please share your stories, and thank you so much for tuning in. I hope to talk to you next time. Bye-bye.